lesson video, I'm going to answer the question, do I have to read music to play the guitar? The answer is no. But what you do need to know how to do is to be able to read chord diagrams. So if chord diagrams are confusing to you, I'll do a brief description here and show you some examples. And then I'm also going to go on to talk about tablature. And yes, I will talk about reading notation very briefly. So first of all, chord diagrams tell you where to put your fingers for the different chord shapes. For instance, this is a chord shape for a G. The chord diagram will be this direction, okay, and it'll show you lines for the frets, and then it'll show dots where your fingers go. So there you go, that's a G. And here's the chord diagram for a G chord. So let's do one more chord diagram. Here's a D, and here's what the chord diagram looks like. Excellent. All right. Another good thing to know how to do is how to read tablature, or tab for short. Tab is a little easier to read than notation because instead of telling you the note, it tells you where to put your fingers. For instance, if you're reading notation, it might say do an E note, and that could be this E, could be this E, could be this E. What E is it? I don't know, but tab will tell you where to put your fingers. So in tab, you have 6 lines for each string. So 6 lines. The top line is for the bottom string. So you have to flip it in your mind. And then the second string will be the second line from the top, and then so on. I'll show you an example in just a minute. The numbers signify what fret you're talking about. So if there's a 0, that means you don't press down any of the strings and just hit the open string. So if the direction is to hit that bottom string without pressing it down, you'll see a 0 on the top line. It's also an effective way to show you chords. So if this is an E chord, in tablature, it'll look like this. The top line will be a 0, then there'll be another 0, then a 1, 2, 2, 0. So here's an example of what tablature would look like for an E chord and also for a short series of notes. So you'll see that series of notes is telling you to press down on the first fret of the 3rd string, and then 2 open strings, and then back to that one. If you want to learn something using tablature, then check out my lesson videos on how to play an A blues scale. I have a little bit of tablature there. I also have a little bit of tab in the video where I teach you the intro for Brown Eyed Girl. Now, even though reading notation, reading music is not important sometimes, there may be times when you want to be able to read music, and if that's your goal, I highly recommend the Hal Leonard Guitar Method series. Please take the time to hit the subscribe button in the corner and hit like if you so desire. If you would like private lessons via Skype, you can go to jamieanderson.com. There's an email form that you can use. I do have a long waiting list, so please be patient. And while you're there, look around. I'm a singer-songwriter. I've got lots of original music. Thanks for tuning in.